Yeah, I can actually hear it this week.
I know. I have to turn off my noise canceling for it to go through.
Yeah, you gotta remember that before you press the button, right? That's key.
Otherwise, my microphone says, "Those damn noisy goats."
Right. Yo, YouTube. Welcome back to another live show with myself, Adam from the Dollar Box, and Charlie from JC3 Cards and Collectibles. We've got some stuff to talk about this week, so that's good. Some weeks it's like not that much going on, and some weeks there's too much, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's more few and far between. But I think we have a good selection of topics tonight. Talk a little bit about the national. We'll talk a little bit about some wrestling event or something that happened. I guess
Wrestling thing.
some wrestling thing. I did a one-on-one eBay seller clinic this week, so talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to talk about some on the WWE side of things as well. We're going to talk about some new products and where we think that lands. So stick around. No hobby or no this week though.
No hobby or no.
No hobby or no. That was last week. Go watch it. Huh?
We might have some other fun games though, depending on how well the chat is behaved tonight.
Yeah, you guys want to play fun games, so make sure you misbehave.
Yeah.
We don't reward good behavior on this channel. We reward, we're all degenerates. Let's act like it, okay?
You know it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know it. So how are your sales this week?
Sales this week are pretty good. Non-sports definitely my winner right now.
Okay.
Baseball, I listed a bunch of Connor Griffin and it's all gone.
Yep.
Yeah, minus I do have a couple that are going to be in live auctions next week, but
okay.
But anything that I currently had possessed and scanned, I listed and it's all gone. The other thing is I had a bunch of Nico Horner rookies, and that guy's just crushing it right now. Nico Horner, he's got the most RBIs in the league or something. It's silly like that. So
yeah.
So that was good timing because I had just kind of come across him. I had bought a few recently as well. I mean, some of those guys are cheap, right? Because they're not like the hype guys. But if you catch them in like the right streaks, right, where they're batting and the team is winning and all that kind of stuff, like there's money to be made.
Yeah.
So listed some Nikos. Those are all gone, or most of them probably. Let's see, what are my other bigger hitters? Lots of Nolan Ryan recently I've sold.
Okay.
Not quite sure the rhyme or reason behind that. I mean, he's a stud, always sells, but
he always sells.
He does.
Legend.
He does. Yep, totally a legend. And that's kind of, I think, the key. That's sort of where I've always sort of planted my flag. So I always have, some performance. But last week we had the debate about the red, white, and blue versus red and blue.
Yes.
Select, and I'm like, why do they have a red, white, and blue card that they call it for one card, and then red and blue for another one, where clearly the centerpiece is white in it? And right after we debated that, I sold a red and blue baseball card. So I'm like, all right, fine. You guys win. Maybe someone was trolling me. I don't know, and just bought it based on the show. I don't know.
That could be. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, obviously you wouldn't know, after the show, I kept sending Adam listings and checklist images that are like, oh, look, another blue and red parallel. None of them said white.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't realize it too much because I scan all that stuff now. So when I listed a red and blue, it listed as red and blue, but I don't know. I didn't really look at it that closely. I just... the AI picked up the right card, so I went with it. But yeah, it's it's interesting how they did that. I don't think we're going to have as much of that type of confusion with tops.
Yeah, probably not.
So, like a refractor card in Prism is a silver, but a refractor card in Optic is a hollow. Like, what are you doing? Like, just. I hate the inconsistency of it, and you learn them over time, and obviously that's part of it. But it's really hard when you're trying to educate others, especially new buyers, new sellers for that matter. The difference. Well, why is this one a hollow and this one's a silver? Because Panini says it is. And then they never put names on anything. Like some of these parallels you're just guessing at. Like, they don't. There's nothing to really clarify. They don't post any odds for card pulls. Anything like that. So I'm looking forward to a little bit more transparency, if you will, with Topps. As much as you're going to get from a retail company that's selling a blind packaged product.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to be perfect with Topps either.
No,
I mean,
no,
think of the sand glitter and the holofoil, and there's something else that's just
the Diamante.
Yeah, well, that's different, but there's something that used to be just like the sand glitter too, and in other products it's called something else. So
yeah.
I don't know. They all kind of do it. So
sand glitter is a super weird name anyway.
I know, right?
Is it sand or is it glitter? Those are two different things.
Yeah. And if you look at the holofoil and the sand glitter side by side, they can still be tough to tell the difference.
I just went through like a pile of those this week, and you're right, they're pretty tough.
And if you only have one and you're like, oh, which one is this? That becomes really hard.
Yeah, I kind of just go with whatever AI scrapes it as, and if I'm wrong, trust me, someone will tell me, and I will go in and change my listing. But yeah, yeah. So you're absolutely 100% correct. We're not going to have all the clear picture with Topps, but I would say it's better. I think Upper Deck does the best. I posted this in the Discord a week or two ago, which, by the way, if you're not on the Discord, there's the free invite link. Join it. It's free, and we got good conversation on there all day long, every day. But Upper Deck posts the actual parallel name on the back of the card. Like, I don't see why that's so difficult. Like, they should all do that, and then there wouldn't be how many posts do you see like in Facebook groups and all that? Like, is this an orange reactive or is this an orange camo or like? And it's like, and some of those, it's a big difference, right? Is this a supernova or is this the supernovas are like case hits, like you can't.
Yeah.
You need to make obviously if you pull a downtown, you know what that is. You pull a kaboom, you know what that is. But there's like these parallels that get weird. And it's almost a secret as to what's what.
Yeah, I had Upper Deck saved me with one of those just the other night. I was listing, actually. I had an AEW card. Maybe I can pull it up quick because it wasn't that far down the list. But when you look at it, like the first thing I saw was an orange slice. Gosh. Anyway, it was a die cut orange, kind of like an orange wave type of parallel because everyone knows those ones. But the first thing I saw on the checklist was orange flow. And I was like, oh, great, it's orange flow. And then I flipped it over because I'm trained now to look for it on Upper Deck. And sure enough, it was something different. It was called orange slice. But at least they listed it. So it was easy for me to make that, switch.
And it's great for the buyer because the buyer can easily see the name on the back.
Yep.
And know, what parallel they're getting. And I don't know. So yeah, I would like to see some improvement in that area. We'll see. I mean, Topps kind of has its standards, right? You got your 101 superfractors and like there's, refractors are always like one of their most common parallels. And so they have some like consistency with some of the products too, but not all of it for sure. Topps Chrome football, just real quick before we pop into our actual topics for tonight. Some crazy sales on that stuff. I don't know if you've looked at the prices in the last like day or so. They are
yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of it now that that a lot of it's gotten ripped and people have pulled stuff and there's been a lot of live sales and that kind of thing. It's the boxes are still up there, but like the single prices have come down quite a bit.
Right.
So
speaking of boxes, did you see what I found under the bed the other day?
Yeah. Pokemon box. You're gonna give that to the kids, right?
No, that's mine now.
What?
They missed out in 2023, I think, is when that was intended to be a gift for them. But somehow it must have got shoved so far under the bed we never pulled it out. And it wasn't $300 when I bought it, so that's
Right.
I just put it on a shelf for now.
Nice. Yeah, that's probably one at this point you just have to keep sealed. You know, that's not something you would
Right.
rip. You're not going to get the value out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's fun. It's a cool looking box. I mean, at least it looks nice on a shelf and stuff.
Yeah.
You should get one of those box protector things, so if it falls off, you don't get the big dings in it. Seen that happen too many times at shows. Huh?
Is there such a thing as a box protector thing?
There is for
Like
Pokemon. It's an ETB, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they make ETB like plastic box that you put the thing in.
Okay.
Acrylic case. Yeah. So, I mean, some of those older boxes are, thousands and thousands of dollars. So there's a market, to make something to protect it for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just acrylic. It's not, complicated.
Right.
So, all right, should we cover the goat show real quick?
Yeah, why don't we?
Okay. If you want to throw the flyer up there. So, shameless promotion for our little card show we run every quarter, of course, called the Goat Show. Our next one is June 28th at the historic Riverside Ballroom in Green Bay. I think we're at like 72% sold out, something like that. Bree told me. I haven't done any like meta promotions or any of that stuff yet. Need to do that this week. But we do have we do know what our giveaway is. It's going to be a Paul Hornung autographed authenticated jersey by JSA, I believe, is our authenticator on that one. So that's a great prize. We're again collecting canned goods or $1 donations to get a ticket to be entered in the drawing for that item amongst some other items that we give away. So we encourage everybody to do that, to participate in the charity effort. Charlie and I will be doing our live show from the stage as we always do. We'll have a break from BB. I confirmed with them that they're going to do a break. I just don't know what it is yet. And obviously, I mean, at this point, we just know it's going to be whenever it gets closer will be the break determining factor at that point, whatever the releases are. Let's see what else. We'll have Find a Goat as usual. Yeah. So just our regular show that we've kind of settled into now that's done very well. We'll be back again.
I didn't have the flyer ready. We didn't discuss it beforehand.
My bad. I have to think about it. I don't even know if I got the flyer yet. It's still kind of a little early for us.
We got one.
I know I sent because do we have the charity on there?
Let's see.
We just dropped off the charity donations this week. We had a hard time getting
charity on there yet.
We do?
We don't.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think we had anything confirmed for that, but yeah, from the last show, we just got the charity stuff out there a couple days ago. Bree ran it out there because we had such a hard time getting a hold of the guy to bring him the check and the food and stuff. So
yeah,
but she got everything delivered now, so that's good.
Well, I don't think I can even get the flyer up this time.
Okay, well, we'll save that for next time. But anyway, mark your calendars, June 28th. If you're coming from out of town and you'd like to have a place to stay, some suggestions on places to stay, we'd be more than willing to help you out with that. If you want to hang out a couple days and see some things, we'd be happy to join you and show you around. Otherwise, yeah, show is from 9 to 2. Free admission, free parking, free ATM. Well, not free ATM. ATM on site. It might charge you a fee.
It does.
It does. I'm not sure if any card holders are free on that. I think it's a totally independent ATM. Yeah. But yeah, all that stuff is available. We'll have an amazing menu as we always do. We won't know what it is until the day of. So fun there. Hopefully they'll have the kneecaps back. Charlie's favorite.
The kneecaps were amazing.
The kneecaps. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a big family environment, and the dealers have a good time. The customers have a good time, and sling a lot of cards. if you want to sell cards, that's also encouraged at our show. So you can bring your cards you have to sell and approach the different dealers with your stuff, and they might be able to cash you out too. So
That is true.
it's not just for buying. Dealers will do trades. They'll do buying. So come on down and get your card fix on June 28th. All right. We'll let that go since we don't have the flyer.
Yeah, I went to put it up there and it didn't like the PDF file, so I'm gonna have to get it prepped for the next show.
I mean, it's pretty standard, to what our other flyer looks like. Same information and everything. So it's not as crucial as it once was to put that up. We do still have a few tables, so if you want to be a vendor, this would be the time. The shows sell out faster and faster each time, so if you want to start to become a regular vendor, you're gonna have to jump in here one of these times, or the tables won't really be available.
Yeah, because it's selling out is not
Hey, look at that
concern anymore, because we consistently are having plenty of vendors. So we can do it this way. Boom. Does that blow it up for you?
Not really.
Oh, okay. It does on my end. I couldn't see the live.
Yeah, it's hard. I've done that too. It's hard with multiple screens.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think you get the gist. You can see the number 5 jersey there for the giveaway, and show times and BB breaks will be there. BB Sports sets up a nice table selling area too. So come down, join in the break, or just watch the break. You can see it live. So if you're ever curious about a break, or you want to get into a break but you want to be able to take your cards home with you, this is a great opportunity to do that as well. It's a lot of fun. It's cool when a nice card gets hit and everybody cheers, and just adds a nice fun live entertainment element to a show. Right. I think so. And no, we will not be having a goat petting zoo. That's something that I keep throwing back and forth in my head that I'd like to add to a summer show at some point, and I just can't find I can't bring myself to presenting it to the team for a vote, because I don't know.
There's a lot more that goes into having a petting zoo.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I got the stickers in. Dang it, I didn't bring them down with me. Yeah, I have the holographic stickers. Can you get into our chat? You can pull up the video that I sent in the chat. I wanted to show the stickers.
Yeah, let me take a look at that.
Yeah, they came out really, really cool. So we're gonna have $1 stickers. Very simple. They're like 3.5 inches, basically, size. They're a cool hologram. It's the logo, the card show logo. And we've been getting asked a lot for merchandise, so we wanted to just do something simple to get it started. So we did some stickers. And if you come to the show and you want to sling a buck to us, we'll get you a GOAT card show sticker, die cut sticker.
Let's see if this works.
You have to grab mine out of there, because I want one, of course, for my drawers, and I forgot to take one. So
we don't want to hear about your drawers.
Not that kind of drawers. There they are.
Yeah.
If you can get it to play at all, it kind of shows you. The holograms are kind of hard to describe until you see like the actual, right? It's that nice refractor material there. So it's the GOAT card show with our lovely little Stuart the GOAT there, spitting out some cards. And we love our logo. This is a great way to kind of celebrate that and put it out there somewhere. So those will be available at the next show. They are limited to 100 stickers before I get one, and anyone else on the team gets one. So we'll be slightly short of 100, but that's what we'll have available, and I think they'll be popular. So that's good. So we'll see how it goes. If we decide to get into some other things. I know some shows do like T-shirts and can koozies, and like there's a million routes you can take with merchandising items. I've been through a lot of those, done a lot of different things. So We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, they came out nice. I like the hollow effect on it. That was a good call.
Yeah, I think it, to me, one of the greatest things about a trading card is the refractor. Right? It's still my favorite parallel of all time. Basic parallel, and I think it looks cool with our logo. It really pops it up a little bit.
Yeah, and then if that goes over well, we might have some mag seals stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want those for sure. I was thinking about that the other day. I was shipping out some orders, and I thought it would be really nice on some bigger cards. I'll ship in like one touches and stuff. It would be nice to have something to put over it.
Yeah.
Just to add a professional touch. So
yeah, absolutely.
More to come on that. That Charlie's working on that one. This is the one I was working on, so it's done right away because I'm a doer.
Well, yours was the only one for the next show. Mine is
true.
for the show after that.
And it was kind of the easy one. I just had to sort of upload the logo and go through a few proofs, and voila, there it is. Yeah. So we're working on some more pieces of things to add. We always try to reinvest into the show, and this is some ways that we can do it, and if we can bring some more income off of it, that's great too, because then it allows us to do even more. So
yeah, exactly.
That's the thought behind it, is to take that and then reinvest it into some other merch pieces and so forth.
So on and so forth.
So on and so forth. All right, let's get into our topic. So we'll talk about WWE, big event there this past weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of let Charlie run with this because it's not really my thing. Plus, I was out of town. I was in Chicago all weekend having big city fun with the little one and the wife. So I wasn't involved with any of it, but I hear it was an exciting event, and there were definitely some card sales and things like that. So I'm gonna let you run with that on the info.
Yeah, it was WrestleMania weekend last week, 2-night event, Saturday and Sunday. They started doing that a couple years ago, just to get more, money, to make more money, right?
Money,
but to get more talent on the big show as well, they had to expand it. Plus the WWE Hall of Fame, which my takeaway from the Hall of Fame, if you haven't seen it, is two things. One, Stephanie McMahon was inducted and had like the first hour of the show. Each of her three daughters spoke for 15 minutes, and then her mom spoke for 15 minutes, and then she spoke for like 20 minutes. So it was more than an hour. It was a crazy amount of time. Yes, I get it. She's the $1 billion princess, right? But compared to everybody else, like a lot of the legends that were deceased just got their name mentioned and a brief shot of their family in the crowd, and that was it. So there was a lot of sacrificing so that Steph could get her time, right? So second thing out of the Hall of Fame show, did have a possibility of impacting the card market, in my opinion. We had an absolutely insane Dennis Rodman get inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. And I would hate to be the transcriber of everything he was saying, like, to do the audio transcription and stuff, because I have no idea what that dude was saying. He was so all over the place and mumbling. It was crazy and very uncomfortable. So really, I sum that up in a nutshell to typical Rodman.
He's always been a mumbler.
Yeah, always been a mumbler. But then, like, Kevin Nash and X-Pac introduced him, and then they just bailed. It was like, I know what this is going to turn into. They just bailed. So there was nobody supporting him, nobody backing him up when he struggled. It was just, and he just kept going. He was talking about his 80-year-old neighbor that he talks to every day, and I don't know what that was about. And then he started crying because he's like, she's probably going to pass away soon. And like, okay, why is he talking about this? Right?
Random.
Yeah, he was likely inebriated.
Oh.
So, but that might have had a little bump in his market. I know I sold some Rodman stuff recently, so that crossover from wrestling into the NBA. He is a Hall of Famer and he is an iconic figure. So, so I think that maybe gave a little bump. But then Saturday we got into the matches. And the matches were good this year, and they had a lot of big moments that affect the card market. All of the champions, of course, have been getting their Tops Now cards. And you're seeing more of these event-driven cards released, whether it was Panini Instant or Tops Now. So you had Cody Rhodes winning his belt, and also taking a punt kick to the face that was harder than it was supposed to be, and his eye was all swelled shut and stuff afterwards. So you can say it's fake all you want, but these guys are actually athletes. So a lot of blood involved in that match against Randy Orton. And then we had a surprise return in the women's division. The Bella Twins were in a three-way tag match, and Nikki Bella was unable to go due to injury. So rather than pull the team from the match, they brought in a substitute, and that substitute was Paige, if you remember Paige. She's kind of a wrestling legacy from England. Her mom was a big-time wrestler over there. She's been in AEW for the last few years under her real name, Saraya, but she is back in the WWE. So I saw a bump in some Paige cards, both in offers and sales. So hopefully she sticks around for a while, because she was a big name in the women's division when she was here. And she's held on to kind of a premium spot in a lot of the women's division cards. Let's see, what else did we have? In the other title match, we had Roman Reigns win back the title. So the head of the table is going to be high on card sales again for a while, as he holds the belt. Last time he had it, I think he had it for 600 and some days, a couple years there. So that will boost his market a lot. And my favorite match of the night had another surprise. Up and coming big monster man Oba Femi had a match against classic Brock Lesnar, who has always been built up as this indestructible machine. But Brock put Oba over, and Oba won clean and in a pretty short match. And after the match, Brock took off his gloves and his boots, put them in the center of the ring, and actually teared up a little bit. So this was not announced ahead of time. It was a little bit of a surprise, but that signifies typically a wrestler is retiring. So that was a big surprise on that one. There were talks of him retiring later this year, but there were no whispers about it happening at WrestleMania, and it's still technically unconfirmed. But that is the history of that symbolism, is you are retiring from active duty there. So, so I would expect a little bit of an uptick in Brock Lesnar cards. And then if you have some Oba Femi cards, and I would assume his rookie card is out. I haven't seen one. I don't have one, but his rookie card's got to be doing some pretty good business right now, even though wrestling rookies are not as influential as, true sports. So,
sure.
Yeah. So it was an eventful night. Like I said, Tops Now put out a number of cards for the title changes. There is a nice Oba Femi one of him standing over the defeated Brock Lesnar. There's the bloody Cody Rhodes. There's Roman Reigns, which, you know, leads me to talk a little bit about these event-driven cards and what the impact is in the hobby. I know, Adam, you and I have talked about those Topps Now cards before.
Mhm.
Those specifically, I always feel like they're not a great buy because they're printed on demand. So you kind of have all your demand in the print run, and then you're kind of chasing secondary demand later. That can be kind of tough. And I found in the cards I have gotten, it's usually a depressed market in the secondary wave of demand. What do you think?
Well, I got a few comments on this one. I know you're shocked.
Yeah.
Um, Print on demand is fine as long as they let you know how many they're printing, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for the most part that's being done, so that's fine. I feel like the moments that are going to be most popular or labeled as a rookie card, right? So like some of the flag ones this year,
Mm-hmm.
those are going to have the biggest buys.
Yeah.
And I know people will buy like 50, 60, 70 copies because they just grade them because they figure, I mean, they're pretty easy base card type cards to grade.
You're also trying to get the parallels then too. Yeah.
Right. Get the short prints, the parallels, the autos, you know, all those kinds of things out of it. But ultimately, the probably the biggest reason I stay away from them myself is I just think they're overpriced.
Yeah.
You know, right off the block. Because when they started doing the Garbage Pail Kids ones, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I would do some cool Garbage Pail Kids ones. And you know, what do they charge for those? $16, $17? I don't
I
know,
think
something
if
like
you
that.
get the small batch, it's $11.99.
11.99.
Yeah.
You know, and they're
Plus
so
tax
basic and
and shipping, of course.
right. So yeah, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of margin in there to do anything with it. If you sell them right away, possibly. But the thing is you can't really be first to market with them
Right.
because you're ordering them, they're all printed, then they're all shipped to everybody at once. So you get let's say you order 25 copies of a card, you get your cards. It is 11.99, right? Yeah.
Yeah, $11.99 for
Yeah.
one, $10 each if you go to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
But you get your stack of cards and everybody else gets their stack of cards and they all list them, and you know, unless you can try to pull off some sort of pre-sale or something for them, I just feel like they're going to be tough to get return.
Yep. Yeah, the best deal is if you get 20 of them, then it's $8.50 a piece. But I still would say after a month, this card is going to sell for $3.50, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
So they did do a number of them. IShowSpeed. Do you know who IShowSpeed is?
No.
He is a content creator, and he had his first match because the new thing in WWE, well, not really new, but they're pushing celebrities again every year. This
Yeah.
is him going off the ring post in a frog splash on Logan Paul on the announce table, and it was pretty impressive. He's up there right now.
I think I saw a video of that one.
Yeah, like
It seemed to be a
he
big
won
moment.
me over with that move. Tatum Paxley, there's Roman Reigns getting his belt back. Where's the Obafemi? Oh, Danhausen. I love Danhausen. So he came out with a bunch of mini Fanhausens. He had like 10 little people dressed up as him that came out with him.
Why not?
And
It's
then
his
they
little,
carried
it's his lollipop guild.
the Demon Finn Balor, Penta, Trick Williams. There's Brock. That's after he retired. So you can see the gloves in the ring here. Here, I'll blow it up a little bit. You can see the
Okay.
gloves and the boots in the ring. And Paul Heyman was bawling too. But I think this is the most iconic one. If I had to pick one of these cards to get, it would probably be this one, because this is the next big thing, Obafemi. So he is so over with the crowds, kids and adults, men and women. He's got this strut when he comes down to the ring to his music. Everybody in the stadium does it. Like, you hear his music, you automatically start doing it. There's a chant that goes along with it. He's got the whole package of a show wrestler, right?
Now,
Like,
does he have any belts or anything important for?
not yet, because he just started out. So he just
Okay.
came out of NXT a couple months ago, which is the development, brand. So he announced after the show that he's coming after Roman Reigns and the title belt. So
Gotcha.
he did have the NXT title, but he hasn't been on the big brand long enough to get any of their belts. He will, though, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he's already popular, so
He definitely is.
that matters on that type of thing in the entertainment industry.
I don't think it would be a stretch to say he is the most popular wrestler on the roster right now. Or as we say,
So that's the wrestler to look for at the
most-
National, right?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
So yeah, I think you're right. If it's like a first appearance card or something like that, or rookie card, I think there's better value in these event-driven cards. But there's also some in regular sets too. Like you think of like the home run celebration subsets and stuff like that, like Aaron Judge.
Yep.
Things
Ohtani,
like that. They do a lot of special cards for that kind of stuff too. And I do feel the market is a little better for those when they're inserts in a set than they are for these print on demand cards.
Yeah, I'm just not sure who's collecting these cards. The print on demand, I don't know. Unless it's a specific player or a specific. Obviously, they're trying to highlight like a specific moment in time,
right? See,
but,
and I would think there are collectors because there's only so many cards a year, and you want every card released that year. There's got to be people out there that do that.
I'm sure there is. I've never run into one, is what I'm saying.
Fair.
So,
Fair.
I know a few people who have ordered some, tops now and things like that. And I have too, but I don't run into anybody that's, walking around to the dealer tables. You got any tops now cards? Like it doesn't really, at least where we are. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So speaking of limited demand and things, where do you think wrestling's at in the hobby right now? Do you think it's gone mainstream now, or do you think it's still a niche player?
Yeah, wrestling, I've always seen wrestling as kind of goes in waves. Okay. So like, now I don't follow it, so I could be wrong, but as an outside person, looking in at it, I see, like, when I was a kid, it was huge, right? You had Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and all that. It was on every Saturday morning. There's merchandise in stores, all that stuff. Then I feel like a lot of the big names in that kind of left, for whatever reason. And then the new wave of WWF, WWE was kind of switching over at the time, just didn't really catch people. Like it didn't seem to do that well. And then I remember like early 2000s, it was big again, right? Because you had The Rock and Cena and Goldberg and like all these guys, right?
Yeah.
And then those guys all left. Batista, right? They all went into acting careers or did other stuff. Hogan was kind of finishing up, and so you were kind of losing that side of it, and the popularity just kind of waned again, and now it feels like it's booming again. So it kind of goes in these interesting little waves. Card wise, in my opinion, it's definitely still niche.
Okay.
There isn't very many products. I don't see a lot of people kind of playing the flip side of it as much. the people I see buying and selling them are people who are into wrestling. It doesn't seem like it's as participated in by those who don't like follow it on their own.
Yeah.
Which is fine, that you can be an expert then, which is great. But yeah, I don't know that it's like touches basketball, football, baseball, even soccer. I think is still bigger. And I kind of look at it as more like an entertainment card, trading card, right? Versus sports, because it doesn't really have a season. It doesn't really have, it has like a champion, but that can kind of change at any time. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little harder it's obviously not a team sport. So yeah, it's not like, oh, well, here's the major tournament for this sport this year. Let's see who the winner is. And you're right, the rookie cards don't get kind of treated really the same way.
Yeah.
So it's just not the same. It's not the same thing as, as other sports.
Right.
Which does it well sometimes, and which also kind of hurts it sometimes.
Yeah.
So
I think from a manufacturer standpoint, I think it's hit the mainstream. In fact, we were talking earlier, the next big release from them is going to be Topps Cosmic Chrome that's coming out at the end of the month. So I think that tells us, with the pace of things coming out, it tells me that manufacturers see the demand that makes it mainstream. Like you're always seeing people looking for product now. As far as the hobby demand, I think it is still more of a niche. And I say that because in the big sports, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, you can move a lot of base cards that have some value yet, if they're Hall of Famers or, rookies or stuff like that. In wrestling, I don't see that piece of the market being as robust yet. I think in wrestling, it's still more about some of those chase cards, the low numbered stuff, the autographs, kind of the better parallels. And there's only about a half a dozen big names in wrestling that I feel sell consistently. Your Hogans, your Ultimate Warriors, things like that. When you look at baseball, you can probably list off 30 Hall of Famers that you've sold this month, right? And on a pretty steady pace, right? But wrestling isn't quite there yet on the demand side of the hobby. I think it's mainstream on the supply side. And I think that says to me that the manufacturers believe the hobby is going to continue to grow. But it's not quite there yet on the wrestling side. You're right. Like, I'm a big wrestling fan. We're a big wrestling house. I love that my boys get into it now. So we buy it. And I pick some up in the value boxes. But I've learned that just because a wrestler is popular right now doesn't mean there's enough demand to make it a good buy for me.
Yeah. And, like I kind of equate this entertainment somewhat to a soap opera, right? Because you have your good guys and your bad guys. And think about popular soap operas over the years. They kind of had their waves, right? Like everybody had to watch Days of Our Lives, and then it kind of, sort of dropped off, and the storyline wasn't as hot. And then it was All My Children, and so I don't know. We'll have to see like how long it stays on the up, right? Where it's real popular right now.
Yeah.
Because I think that will obviously bring in more products and things like that, and you might build a more solid card hobby market, than what you had before.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We'll
with
see.
that.
I know a lot of the live shows that were doing wrestling this weekend did not do very well. So, I don't know how much card buying ties into like because I was just talking about, like big sporting events, right? Like you have your World Series and your World Cup and stuff like that. It doesn't seem to equate necessarily to card sales when it's like WrestleMania or something like that.
Yeah.
At least not during the event.
I mean, yeah, not during the event. Well, I mean, I think people were consumed watching the event because
Right.
wrestling is something you're watching most of the way through. You're watching for the entrances. You're watching for the big moments in the match.
Right.
See what someone does after the match, right? So I don't think it lends itself to a sport where you can also be watching live at the same time.
Yeah.
It would be cool, but I kind of feel like I understand why we saw a lot of people not be as successful as they hoped with that.
Yeah.
I like that you called it a soap opera because it really is. They're telling stories all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I can kind of relate to it to some degree. I mean, that my favorite piece of entertainment is more scripted, arguably than this, and not even necessarily sports related. But I'm a big Star Wars fan, and that story keeps going and going. I mean, heck, there's a new movie coming out next week, I think, right?
Yeah.
The Mandalorian, and that's a space opera. We've always referred to it as that because it's the same thing. You have, your good guy turns bad and then gets destroyed and is replaced by another bad guy, and then a new good guy rises up, and it's basically the same thing, right? And Star Wars, I would say, is also a niche market, but it's grown a lot in cards.
Yeah.
It's one of my top sellers of anything, even including sports. So, um, I don't think it's quite there yet on the wrestling side, but I could see it easily getting there. If they keep good characters, they keep writing good stories, people, it maintains its popularity, with this current group of cast. I mean, they're really actors, right? So,
They are.
um,
They are.
if it's managed well and the events are good and positive and people want to be there, I can't see it really going down.
Yeah, I think it's also entertainment that spans multiple generations.
Hmm.
So if you can capture that hobby market, you've got a wide swath of buyers there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as long as you have characters that are going to keep it up there. Let me ask you this. So some WNBA product has come out recently too. How much WNBA product have you bought this year?
This year, 0. Last year,
Right.
just a couple of blasters, maybe.
Right. Remember when I said, and everybody's like, "Oh, WNBA is gonna be the hot new market."
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not going to continue. And I'm not doing it as like I told you. So I'm saying it more as like there are just certain things where when it doesn't have a big enough major spotlight on it, in the regular group of collectors and people who are looking at that stuff, it can die pretty quick.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
drop off, and people were fighting each other over WNBA Prism Blasters last year, and that stuff's on the shelf and not really doing much.
Yeah. I think a good way to look at, wrestling compared to other markets is to ask a simple question. Would you rather flip a mid-level baseball rookie or 5 well-timed wrestling cards around an event?
Me personally, it would be the baseball card.
Yeah. And I think most people are probably still say baseball.
Yeah.
Versus 5 wrestling cards, right? So it's still the safer play, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
So
I do like something like Cosmic. I think it's a smart play because you can do so much cool stuff with the
yep.
photography, and guys jumping off ropes and girls doing twisty moves and things like that. It does tend to fit. I think, like, I don't really, I mean, I see you showing a few examples on the screen, but to get a bigger view on the whole product, that this might be the type of thing that it needs to really kind of explode. I thought the Finest products were pretty good the last few years.
Yeah.
Those are probably my favorite. I mean, you know my thoughts on Prism, so that never really enters into my thoughts of like, oh, this is the best set because it's got this crappy silver border with dimples in it on the side. Like,
Yeah.
and it looks exactly like last year's crappy silver border with dimples in a different place,
Yeah.
So my point is, I think with Topps being, heavily involved now and them kind of understanding how to pair products and scarcity and parallels and insert design and things like that with the right audience of people who are actually going to buy the damn cards. Like,
Right.
are you going to sell all the boxes and the breakers are going to break all the boxes? Yes, but that's not the point. Like, if it doesn't maintain any secondary market, it's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
How many breakers bought WNBA stuff last year and just ripped the crap out of it?
A lot.
And how many streams do you see now of WNBA?
That's a good point. I don't think I see nearly as many.
Yeah, and I mean, sports always, will always come down to like, well, who's in the rookie class, and there's other things with that too. But you can kind of say the same with wrestling too. Like, if there's no storylines anybody wants to be involved in or really follow, like it's not going to sell, especially when it's already niche.
Yep. And that's where wrestling does get tricky because you need to move some cards when someone is lucky enough to have creative put a story on them, right?
Mhm.
Like, there's plenty of good wrestlers still on active rosters today that haven't had a big story in a while, and their sales just fade away.
Yeah, and I think that's probably going to continue. I don't see like a way out of that, really.
Yeah.
Unless you're huge, huge, huge. Like Hulk Hogan could go away for a couple of years, his stuff would still sell. But I would say the vast majority of wrestlers don't fall into that class. It just doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
And he had other media presence in other areas. It's kind of like The Rock, right? Like his WWE cards still sell well, even his older stuff, but he's also a major Hollywood actor.
Yeah.
John Cena, right? Like you have like these guys that are kind of the exceptions. So if you end up with like your current wrestling acting group being great wrestlers, that's great, but they don't really have anything outside of that. It's really hard to draw on that mainstream part of it.
It is. I would agree with you there. Oh, look at that Tiffy Stratton. It's Tiffy time. What do you think of the explosion of all the Topps Chrome products? Are we getting Chrome overload yet? Is it making base cardboard irrelevant?
I would much rather see Topps Chrome products than pretty much anything else. If they're gonna, and I think the Topps Chrome products, the varieties of them are all fairly different. So, like I would say, Cosmic is pretty different from like a base Topps Chrome, which is also different from a Finest, which is basically a Topps Chrome.
It is.
So I feel like they can each have a place. The problem is paper cards just don't have much popularity. You can get away with it with like Bowman and stuff like that because that's all like prospect stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But how many, like, let's say they do a Topps paper based WWE set. I don't know how much of that would really go.
Yeah.
I'm talking base cards. I'm not talking inserts, parallels, 101s. That stuff all always have a market due to scarcity and, that collectors and things. But like
it's
just
really
as a base
hard
product,
to move paper base. Wrestling cards. But I think what keeps the paper base going is the affordability.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I don't know. I think when it comes to wrestling card, I'm just placing myself as like buyer seller and what I know about wrestling. So I'm not biased with certain characters or anything like that, storylines, whatever.
Yeah.
I look at it like, do I see a great way to resell product if I'm buying paper based WWE stuff? I don't think so. I think it like because of what it is, and it's so over the top, and it's these muscles and these, crazy characters and all that. I think you got to have a Chrome product to really make that be something.
I think you're right about that. Like, it's such an over the top product that you need a comparable over the top product in cards.
Yeah, because you can't display wrestling very well with a white paper base card.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of just realized like that might not really be. I think if people are going to buy wrestling cards, they'll pony up and get the Chrome, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So the paper would just kind of sit there and not in a niche market where you're not selling as many cards as some other sports and things. I think that just doesn't. It just doesn't feel like there would be enough there to make it really worth it. They're better off just putting out like a couple of really good Chrome products.
Right.
So I think that's why you see more of that. It's the same thing with Disney. Like they tried a couple Disney paper products. What was the one they just did not that long ago? I can't think of the
Disney
name of
Wonder?
it. Huh?
Was it Disney
Wonder? Yes, Wonder. Paper product just didn't really grab any attention.
Yeah, kind of flat.
Yeah, I mean, some of the parallels and stuff are okay, and of course, you had your 101s and all that stuff. But now it's like Chrome. But I think Neon, because is Topps Neon a Chrome product too? The one that just came out. I think that might be paper.
Let me check it. I would assume so.
So I mean, when you look at like their entertainment products, they kind of stick to Chrome.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if that's a Chromium product or not.
Well, if it just says Topps and it doesn't say Topps Chrome in the listing title, then it's just a paper product. So I guess they are doing another paper Disney. I'm kind of surprised after how Wonder did, but
they're using brighter colors.
Right. and you gotta, and there's some younger age market, right, as well for this, more so than probably WWE and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're probably like, okay, we need something where we can do a $25 blaster box, and the kids actually get a healthy amount of cards.
Topps Chrome inserts in there.
Correct. Yeah. Which, I mean, Topps baseball, Topps paper baseball does that. They put some Chrome inserts in there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I think WWE is in a decent spot. I think there's some potential there, and I think like if that product does well, I think Topps will be able to support it well and get some mainstreamers into it, and that might help grow that piece of the hobby.
Yeah, my vote would be still growing, but not quite there yet.
Same. I'm on the same page.
Yeah. Well, should we do a little chat before we move on to another topic?
Yes, sir.
What?
I said yes, sir.
Yes, sir? I was like, sir. Why is he talking about turkey gizzards?
Gizzard?
Wasn't there a song where they said something like that?
Probably.
Arrested Development or something like that?
Yeah.
They had a breakdown section. All right, Designated Heckler is here. Yo. Happy Wednesday. Uh-oh. He said the third yo.
He said all three yos. That is risky. That is risky. I like it. I encourage the misbehaving tonight, so it's all good.
Breaking the rules.
Yes.
Jay-Z is here. Happy hump day, boys. I haven't called you Jay-Z in a while. Wolfie Joe's here. He says goat eating an oil can Boyd card. That's an image.
Right? Yeah, so when we designed the logo, we didn't want any like specific cards obviously coming out of the mouth because we didn't want to have to deal with that, but yeah, oil can Boyd, that makes a lot of sense. I like it.
Yeah.
And when you get your sticker, when you come to our show and you buy your sticker, you can draw whatever you want on the cards. So
yeah, Joe, it's not that far of a drive for you.
Not. Come and join us. It'll be fun.
Designated Heckler says, if I drive 2,000 miles, I expect to get a $1 sticker as a givey.
Ooh.
It won't be coming this time, but someday. And yes, I said givey to intentionally misbehave.
I like it. I like it. It's all good. If
I've seen Adam use the word givey, so I think he's coming around to it.
You know, it's one of my favorites. But yeah, obviously, if you drive 2,000 miles to come to the show, we will give you a sticker. That will not be a problem. We'll hook you up for sure.
Wolfie Joe says Cyndi Lauper really needs to be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Was she a wrestler? I don't know.
Well, the rock and wrestling period. Her and
I know she did the music video with the wrestlers.
Yeah, she was involved in the promotion for a while. I thought she got enshrined in it in one of the early classes. I'm gonna have to research that now, Joe. You got me wondering, but if she's not, I actually agree with you on that. WWE Hall of Fame. Bill Simus is here. What's up?
What's up? True.
Stu had to get in on it too. She is not currently in there. And many believe she deserves to be in there. In the 80s in the Rock and Wrestling Connection.
Makes sense.
Did you know I was watching something recently? This is totally a side trip here. I was watching something about Cyndi Lauper's song, The Goonies Are All Right.
Yep.
And did you know that video with all the wrestlers in it was not originally what the video was supposed to be?
I believe I heard that, but yeah.
Yeah, it was originally like all movie scenes and stuff and some other crazy stuff. And they're like, this isn't working. So then they just brought all the wrestlers in and did that. And it was even more crazy, but it probably ended up more memorable.
It is, because I remember watching that video as a kid, and I'm like, what the hell does this have to do with Goonies?
Right.
Who are these wrestlers? Like, I think Lou Albino or something was in here.
Yeah.
Albino, is that his name? I remember him being in it because I remember watching him wrestle.
Right.
Albano, okay. I remember watching him wrestling, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's in her video, and then I'm like, I don't get why this, because it's the Good Enough song. Good enough.
Good enough. Yeah.
For you, it's good enough.
And that song, I might be mistaken on this, but I don't think it was written for the movie. I think it's got a totally different meaning than what the movie was about. So if you really study it, it's a crazy mismatch.
But it's also perfect. Like when I watch the movie and I hear that song, I think about Goonies. I just do. I also think about the wrestling video. I do. It's just got such a spot in pop culture now. And Cyndi Lauper's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
So if you never listen to Cyndi Lauper, she did a lot of goofy stuff early in her career. She had that kind of Madonna vibe, early on with the crazy hair and the bracelets and all that. But very, very talented singer. And yeah, she's amazing.
She did go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year, and I watched that, and she performed, and she was fantastic still.
Yeah, she still does. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. Bill says, looked like Paul Heyman was even shocked about that, talking about the Brock Lesnar retirement, or should I say Brock Lesnar? But
they kind of have to have a shocker in it, right? I mean, isn't that?
Yeah.
There has to be something to talk about the next day. So
yeah,
I'm sure that was planned, not planned kind of thing. Like, they weren't going to tell everybody if they were going to do it, because you want some real reactions, and right. I'm sure Brock didn't just do that on a whim. Like this is something,
because Brock is not, he's not a true wrestling guy. Like he only performed when he wanted to, and I could see him being like, yeah, I had enough. He is
maybe
he is 48 or 50, something like that. Like he's close to my age. I think it was 48. So that is getting up there for the business.
Yeah, that's my age, and I ain't wrestling shit. I can tell
I
you
wish
that.
I looked like him when I was 48.
Right. Yeah.
Sword tattoo up to my neck and all.
Yeah.
Which I read a story about that recently. That was an accident. He got all pissed up and woke up with that tattoo one time.
Makes sense.
It worked for his job, though.
Yeah.
Lofi Joe says some rich guy paid a truckload of money to sit next to the announcers at their table and never said a word. That is true. Came back from a quick break, and the announcer said, "We want to welcome so-and-so here with us at the announce table." And that was pretty much it. The guy never said a word, and I think he just was there for one match, and then he was gone again. So it was a money grab. Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, if he's willing to pay the money, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Dan's here. He says, good luck getting a ticket for anything pre-ordered. He's 0-7 on pre-orders, I guess.
Or what?
Maybe anything.
Oh, all right.
I've never really pre-ordered. I don't think I pre-ordered anything. I usually just go to the store and get it.
Me too. Well, I did for this next
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson, because they don't sell it. Like you have to,
right.
You either pre-order it or that's it. So, and the secondary market on their stuff is so fairly priced that the secondary market price is insane.
Yeah.
So you get like on this first day release box that I got in on, which has like the promo cards and all that stuff. There's 480 cards in that box.
Yeah.
Crazy. For $385. Like, dude, yeah, that's like $1,000 box, at least after release.
Yeah. Dan says he loves Cosmic so much he wishes it was in retail.
That's one thing I want Topps to kind of keep an eye on. I don't want like super retail releases for everything. I think that was kind of one of Panini's downfalls. Like Select was an amazing product. It was my favorite products for years.
Okay.
And then they just threw it all over the Target shelves, and I'm like, nah, I don't know. And then they did crazy stuff like calling red, white, and blue parallels red and blue.
Suddenly Select wasn't so select.
It was not. Yeah, it was not. It wasn't neat. So I think keeping Cosmic a hobby, you got to have a few things that are just hobby specific. I just think it makes it more fun, and it strengthens some of the secondary market because you don't have as much stuff printed, and there's going to be plenty of products that you can find boxes of on Walmart shelves. You don't have to have, I get where he's coming from. He's like, well, it would be nice to just walk in the store and buy a box of Cosmic. I agree with that. From that aspect, like as a buyer, yeah, I would absolutely love that. But as like a guy involved in the hobby to make money doing it and resell things and that, like I like some stuff that doesn't touch every retail shelf.
Yeah.
Personally.
I get super excited when I see some Cosmic make its way down to the value boxes, though.
Me too. I just bought you know what Christian Campbell is?
Sounds familiar.
Red Sox, rookie for the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just found I got a Cosmic base chrome rookie of his, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'd flipped some of his stuff. And so I listed it right away, and whammo, it was right out of the store, because that's just stuff you don't see it in a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
And he's not a big name. He's not a big name. Huh?
It is a fun product for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Dan says, remember last WrestleMania where everyone was talking about Joe Hendry? You said his name, Dan. Now he's going to appear. Now nothing it does quickly change in hype. Now nothing. It does quickly change in hype. I don't know if that's true, Dan. Joe Hendry is still getting big pops. I heard that he's coming up to the main roster now. So we'll see if he can carry that momentum.
I have never heard of this guy once before your mentioning of it tonight.
Yeah. So he was in TNA, I think. He was the TNA champion. And of course, WWE and TKO now own like all the wrestling promotions. So they started doing these cross promotion things, and he would start showing up at WWE events. But his gimmick is he's got this theme song that starts with "Say his name" and then he'll appear. So he just pops up in weird places, like he popped up in a refrigerator once and stuff like.
Kind of like Dan.
It does. It sounds exactly like Dan.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, as a casual dude, I'm going through a box and I see Brock Lesnar cards and I see Trish Stratus cards and I see Ric Flair cards and then I see Joe Hendry. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Because until you get on the WWE's main roster with the storyline, nobody is going to know you outside the core fans.
Right. Correct. So I think Dan's point more was, okay, well, there was some hype assuming he was going to get more into the mainstream following. And then when that didn't happen, the people that were prospecting, if you will, on this dude had to kind of bail on it.
I don't know. I think short attention spans are to blame there.
Sure.
Wrestling characters are really no different than prospects in baseball. Sometimes it takes 3-4 years before they really make it big. So,
but how much patience are the buyers going to have waiting for that to come around, versus
hopefully not
day
much,
one hype.
Then I pick them up in dime boxes.
Yeah, right. That's what I say too. Like, we were just talking about this the other night with Wembanyama rookies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was kind of a no-brainer that he was going to be good. Early on. So everybody's overpaying for cards and all that kind of stuff, all the hype.
Mm-hmm.
And then season ending injury, but kind of at the end of the season. So he did have some performance behind it.
Yeah.
And you and I, same thing. We both picked up a bunch of, his stuff at half price, a third of a price, whatever.
Yeah.
And hell of a season. I mean, I think they're going to win this first round in the playoffs too and move on. Yeah. So
he's on the Beckett hot list.
Yeah. And Beckett hot list. I haven't looked at that in a few years.
You know who else is on there with him?
Hmm.
A blast from the past, Michael Nelson Trout.
Never heard of him.
He is off to a fantastic season. We'll see if he can stay healthy.
And I've been buying Trout forever too. I never gave up on Trout. I still get his stuff in quarter and dime box. I just bought a bunch of Trout, I don't know, a week or two ago, and it sells. It keeps selling. Yep. And yeah, he's doing well. Aaron Judge is crashing, hitting his home runs, and the players with money in baseball are pretty much performing right now, which is great. So early on.
Yeah, Trout's currently leading the league with 22 runs scored, and his OBP is 422. So he's back at Trout-like numbers.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest skill any player can have, though, is availability, right? You just got to be able to stay on the field.
Well, he has two issues, okay, as far as like money-wise on the hobby, and that's that he'll never win a World Series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he can't stay healthy. Now, and those are two very big killers in a card market on a player who arguably could be considered the best in his generation.
Yeah, I would agree.
I wouldn't say like best of all time, or I don't think a lot of people are saying that, but as far as like these couple decades that he's been playing in, he's up there.
Yep, and he passed the torch to Ohtani.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, there's some good debates going on with Ohtani about Ohtani now. Every year, like as he heats up and he's getting what was the crazy stat I saw the other day? He struck out more batters or he hit more home runs than batters got hits off of him or something like that. Some crazy stat where it was basically comparing his pitching to his hitting. And like
right.
he's dominant in the hitting, but then he's also dominant in the pitching to a point where his hitting numbers are actually better than anybody who's batted off of him.
Yeah.
You know, which obviously there's a lot more opportunities because you're pitching to every batter.
Yep.
Versus your once up, you know, every 3 innings or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just the guy just keeps passing, you know, putting insane things up and he looks healthy and good. So I'm really happy for Trout because I feel like I mean he has that degenerative back disease at this point that he's never going to be able to get out of. So obviously his clock is ticking just from that part of it. I would love to see him tear out a couple of really, really nice seasons here to finish up and be able to go and relax and not have the back, you know, be as bad as what it is at times.
Yep.
And enjoy some retirement. Trout's kind of a weird one too because he's very quiet. You never see him really on anything. I know he did Topps Rip Night at a hobby shop a couple weeks ago. Like he'll pop in for a few small things here and there, but he's not a big. You won't see his tweets. You won't see his, you know, all his other, you know, any of the other stuff you see from some of these other guys. So I think people have a harder time connecting with him because they don't really know who he is that much, other than his statistics.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's good to see him doing well again. He's definitely been my favorite non-Brewers player for most of my adult life now. So,
by the way, the Cubs just won their 8th game in a row. I thought you would want to know that.
Brewers, I think, are still tied for last now.
Yeah, they lost again today.
Brewers did?
Yeah.
I didn't get to see the score. Way to spoil it for me. They won
4-1. I'm spoiling it. I don't care.
12 to something last night.
Yeah, they got roughed up a little bit last night.
7 runs in 1 inning. Bradley's here. Says, hi guys, just joined you guys going to the Oshkosh show this weekend. I will not be. I'll be going in the opposite direction. Opening up camp up north with our new travel trailers. So that's our plans for the weekend. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, actually a lot of my weekend is just going to be catch up because I was gone for 4 days last week.
Sure.
Out of town, and you know, you do what you can when you get back, but you're never really you just get into your regular week and don't get everything else caught up. So I'm going to try to do that. I also have, what is the date this weekend? It's the 22nd. I was thinking I had a movie this weekend, but that's next weekend. Mortal Kombat 2 comes out next Friday. So I'll be doing that next week. But yeah, I don't have any real specific plans. Honestly, I'm not going to pick up a lot I have a good amount of inventory right now. Don't have a ton of listings available in the sports store. I'm kind of at a cool spot where like I don't really have to do work other than ship. You always got to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't have any pressure like, oh, I got to go to this show and pick up these cards, and I don't really do live shows, so I don't need it for that to push that through. So
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep working on some non-sports stuff. Get a bunch more stuff scanned in there. Got all my stuff on Whatnot today after that was failing for a few days, so that was a little bit of a project. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to get back into it and get caught up on some other stuff and hopefully have some relaxation time with the fam.
Yeah,
that would be the goal.
That would be good. Dan says 48 and still wrestling. Only thing I wrestle at that age is tying my shoelace. Yeah, that's when you start finding a step to step up on when you tie your shoes, or you tie the knot to the side a little bit.
Or you just leave them tied and slip your foot in it.
Yes.
The same thing I used to yell at, my youngin for, I now have to do because I just don't have physical ability to put a shoe on. Because
there you go.
I'm 48 and I don't look like Brock Lesnar.
Not many of us do.
Right.
Susie's here. Good day, Adam and Charlie from Australia.
Hello.
One of your Aussie mates was a champion this weekend, and Rhea Ripley. She regained the women's championship from Jade Cargill.
I sold some Rhea Ripley cards this weekend, so that kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, she's one of the top names the last few years. She does better when she's got a belt. She kind of faded away for a little bit because they didn't put a belt on her for a while. But now that she has one, I expect her market to be strong again for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Apparently, I had a few of her cards because they sold, so that was
there.
Good
You go. See, winning the belt makes things move.
Right.
Susie also says you would think Trout would be getting as much attention as Judge and Ohtani. I think he doesn't because we know Trout is past his peak, right?
Yeah, he also doesn't play on a competitive team. That matters a lot more in baseball than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
If he was on the Yankees or the Dodgers, absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree.
It would be, especially with the way he's playing.
Yeah.
He would get more primetime attention. It would get a lot more, first in the division, blah, 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 blah. I mean, the Angels haven't been terrible. They've been better than they've been in previous years, but I mean, come on. Are they a World Series contender? Not so much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So,
and he's very true to the Angels. Like he is retired.
Pretty much to a fault. Yeah. I really think it's unfortunate because I think to some degree when he reflects back on his career, he's got to be disappointed somewhat, right?
Yeah.
And he's never even played a playoff game.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
wild.
You're playing for a World Series every year, and he's never
Should
had
be.
the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's your goal every year.
Yeah, so. It should be.
Yeah. Yep. So, Bill says Nico Horner contract is looking pretty good.
They had to pay him this year, and I know there was some there's always some debate, right? When you got to start giving up money and signing these contracts, and they decided to keep him, and that was obviously a very smart play. Yeah. He's a solid player. He does a lot. I mean, have you seen his defense recently? He's insane. No.
I don't
just diving all over the place, getting all the balls, and he's got some Bobby Witt type highlight reels this year to him.
Really?
Yeah. So, and then obviously he's been, hitting the ball as well,
Yeah.
Home runs, RBIs, he's like I said, he was number 1 in the league in RBI. So, I don't know if he still is. That was a day or two ago, but numbers change so fast this early in the year. But
yeah,
he looks great. Looks great, and the Cubs have been hitting.
On the flip side, he says, "Don't know about that PCA one."
PCA is. I think he's always going to be kind of a streaky dude, and he's going to have his. I mean, most baseball players are streaky to some degree, but I think he's. I think he still has great defensive skills. I mean, he was productive today. 3 out of 4 at bats. He was getting either somebody move forward or getting hits. So, I don't know. It's really hard. Like, what are we 3 weeks into the season now? Something like that. Like, some of these guys, you got to give them a little time too. They don't all just come out the gate like Trout.
I thought you said at the end of last season, I thought you were calling him the second coming of Mickey Mantle.
No. He, even when he was hot, as a rookie and stuff,
he was selling really well.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I was buying everything and selling everything. He does play for a team that has a pretty rabid fan base. There's some advantages to that too. But I have a feeling if they stick around and they end up continuing a good record, and he's at least making plays here and there and hitting a couple of home runs, there will always be some positive attention on his cards from that.
Yep. I think we got a new viewer here. It's me, Bob. I'm here. Welcome, Bob. Thanks for joining.
Hi,
Bob. Susie says, Adam, contact eBay admin and request an increase in your listings, and they will give it to you.
What?
You mean all you got to do is ask?
I don't think that's right at all. Maybe that works.
Should work.
Maybe that works on the kangaroo pond, but I don't know that it does over here. But thanks for the tip. I might as well shoot that out. Um, small, segue into a later topic we're going to talk about, but I just talked to I did a seller clinic this week, and I was going to talk a little bit about that. And that was nothing she mentioned to me, because I did say, can you give us unlimited listings? I didn't ask for more listings. I said unlimited listings. I don't understand why you only want us to list so many products. It makes no sense. But I didn't really get a great answer out of that. So, and nor was there oh, hey, here's some more listings. I didn't get that. So I don't know. I don't know. But I'll try. I can try. Why not?
Yeah. You get 0% of what you never asked for.
That is true.
She also reminds us that the NFL season kind of starts tomorrow with the draft. So
Yep.
excitement's building. We get some picks selling. We look for those high draft pick rookies. It gets a little crazy for a while, and then we find them all in the dime boxes next year.
Pretty much. Two things about the draft. One of my good friends that I worked on a TV show for Star Wars with is the guy who built the stage this year in Philadelphia. So it's kind of funny. It had a bunch of good pictures and stuff. The other thing is Topps has this huge tent right on the field where they're going to have a bunch of promos and products and signers and stuff. And that makes me mad because I went to the one in Green Bay last year and Panini's kind of dying. So they had like this little tiny booth with not much effort, and Topps didn't have jack squat. So,
right. Yeah.
Feel utterly screwed out of that one. But,
Yeah, you had a lot of high hopes for that.
I did.
Let's see here. Susie says, woohoo, love Rhea. She is fantastic. From Adelaide, Australia, Rhea Ripley. Love it. Love it. She's great. I don't know if I had to rank my favorite wrestlers right now, she's got to be in my top 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I pay attention on this show because I want to look at, listen to certain names and certain, because that's what I need.
It's not always there to tell you who to buy.
Yeah, that's my card knowledge. Like, that's how I get my card knowledge. So, I mean, I understand like the half-dressed hot chick, like that's a thing you can just buy and sell. I get that part.
Yeah.
That one's a no-brainer. But like as far as like wrestling and popularity, and if they're the heel or the hero, like I don't know a lot of that. So, yeah, these are good conversations for me to educate myself on what to look for.
For sure.
Hopefully for you out there too, that helps.
Bill says I like to call him Pete Crow Baez.
Hobby. Yeah, he likes to strike out. That is true. He swings the bat real hard. And sometimes that works out, and oftentimes it does not.
When the winds are blowing in.
That's what you get when you have that power stroke dude. Like,
yeah,
unless you're Bonds where you can see the ball that well and you don't have to worry about it, yeah, you're gonna whiff on some of those.
You are going to. That is true. Designated Heckler says Mike Trout has only appeared in one postseason series in his 14-season career. That was in the 2014 AL Division Series, totaling 3 games. In those games, he batted .083 with 1 home run, 1 RBI, 1 run. KC swept the LA Angels. Yeah.
Oh, there you have it.
That hurts your market cap.
Yeah, I would say.
Susie says, I'm a KC fan. Love Bobby and Michael Garcia.
Yeah, I mean, those two guys are monsters. So hopefully KC can figure out like the pitching and the rest of the side of things, and they can be very competitive for sure.
Yep. Susie says, it's right. You'll get another 10,000 listings just like that. Bang. Done.
I'll ask.
Gotta ask.
Yeah,
So
thanks, Susie. I'll try it.
She says, buy all the Tiffy and Liv Morgan cards you can find right now. They are hotcakes. Yeah, Liv's been hot for a couple years now. If you can find her one of her rookie cards, that you'll have no problem buying yourself dinner off of that. Just you, not the family, but you. Tiffy's been through a little bit of a dry spell. Creative hasn't done much with her. So I've seen a little bit of depression in her market. She started out super hot in the market. She needs another storyline and get the belt on her again for a while, and I think that'll snap back.
Sounds good.
Prettiest moonsault ever.
Moonsault?
Yeah. That's when they flip backwards, like do a backflip off the turnbuckles and splash their opponent.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get you there someday, Adam.
I don't know that I'm that interested. It's like when I talk to you about soccer, you're like, sounds good.
Yeah, glass.
Tell me which one name guy to buy.
Who got a red card? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that catches
Yamal.
us up in the chat. You want to talk about your eBay discussion?
Yeah, so I did a eBay one-on-one this week. I'd been looking to schedule one for a while, and it just, it's one of those things where, I don't have time this week. So I made that one of my actions this week that I was definitely going to take care of. So I had about 45-minute conversation, 50-minute conversation with a lady from eBay. She was extremely knowledgeable. I was surprised at that.
Can you say that like Jerry Lewis would?
No.
Lady.
Lady. Yeah. Very, very nice, very knowledgeable, spoke really well. And she did a good job of not just saying, well, like, these are things you should do to get more sales. She also did like, you do this is good, keep doing this to get more sales, kind of thing. She honestly didn't come up with a lot of things that I wasn't already doing, which to me was a positive. That just reinforces my actions that I'm taking and why I'm successful in it. But she did pull a couple reports for me that you don't see on the let me see if I can see she did send me a report. Let me see if it's this one. About your listing details that is not available on the dash. It's just something they get in the background. That's the seller news form. So I was really interested in that because I thought, well, okay, well, if you can get me something that I can't see, there's definitely benefit to that. Hold on, let me pull it back up here. I guess I could. Can I share this screen? I think I can.
I think I can.
So she sent me my active listing with stagnation details. Have you heard of this report?
No.
It's pretty crazy. It's basically every listing I have and how old it is.
Wow.
In a spreadsheet, huh?
I mean, we know how old our listings are.
Yeah, I mean, it was just neat to like have it all in a spreadsheet where you could easily just kind of look at stuff.
Yeah.
And then it has like quality of listing and things like that. And then the other report she sent me, I don't know if we want to show any of these on screen, but the listing quality report, which is one that you can order in the dash, in the seller dashboard. Huh?
I've looked at that.
Yeah, so it just tells you like how many listings you can improve, based on category. I have one in the fast food category. That's funny. It's got to be like a McDonald's. Yeah, McDonald's card or something. Non-sport was my biggest area where I need to add things to get more quality.
Okay.
And then the other report is the Seller Clinic overview, and this is probably the best one because it has kind of like a slideshow presentation of everything you guys talked about.
Okay.
And where you can make improvements and, stuff like that. How many listings you currently have. What was your sold in the last 12 months? Year to date money, like how how much you've made so far year to date. So it's just kind of nice that, they break it down easy enough in there for you to take a look at. But she did give me a tip on she also gave me a special application to eBay Live. So we'll see if I decide to pursue that or not.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. But so she gave me a title example tip for if you're selling cards. And I don't think any of these will be shocker to any of us, but I wanted to kind of read this out loud because she basically nailed all the things you have to have in the title to get the most exposure. Okay. So there's obviously other things that come into play, like if you're doing promotions and ads and, whatever else, but this is just straight, like the things to put in your listing to
Are you going to share it on the screen?
Get the most eyes. I can. Let's see. And then there's an example of one as well. That's not it. I need to go to StreamYard. I should have pulled this up ahead of time, but I got home super late, so I didn't have time to do anything ahead of time. Let's see. StreamYard. Continue as me.
While you're working on that, Susie says, Chip is a blonde bombshell chick. Come on, she is. She's got the look. She just needs creative to get behind her consistently to keep her relevant. They burned her star pretty fast when she came up to the main roster. And Susie says, stagnation? Oh! We don't want that, I guess.
All right, let me see if I can.
Oh, we got multiple Adams coming into the stage.
We do. I'm trying to silence one here and then bring up the share screen. I haven't done this in a bit. I had to think about it. And everybody see that? You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I go to the top of this, it's just kind of addressing me. Thank you for participating in the clinic yesterday. By the way, I think there's 5 or 6 of these, so I have to schedule my next one. And each one kind of goes through kind of progression of different things as a seller. But what I really wanted to cover was like the title example here. Number 1 is to have the player name. Start with the name of the player, as this is often the most searched term. Number 2, the brand manufacturer. Include the brand manufacturer of the card, such as Topps, Panini, or Upper Deck. The year, adding the year is crucial, especially for collectors looking for specific editions, set collectors, that kind of thing. 4 is the team. Mention the team the player is associated with. Many shoppers use, key term as fans. Card type, specify the type of card, such as rookie, autograph, memorabilia, the name of the parallel, that kind of thing. Item description, include any additional descriptive words that highlight the card's features, like limited edition, foil, mint condition. I don't think you should put mint condition in the description. I think that's a bad idea, but anyway, It's on here. Other relevant keywords, if there are other important attributes or features, such as a special series or set, include those as well. So then they kind of give you an example here of what a listing title would look like. LeBron James 2020 Panini Prism Lakers rookie card, which obviously that's not accurate. And then mint condition at the end of it. So I this isn't the exact layout that I use when I'm doing a listing title, but these are all things that I have in there. So LeBron James, so you've got your name. 2020, you've got your year. Panini, you've got your manufacturer. Prism, you've got the set. Lakers, you've got the team he plays for. Rookie, so the status of the card, right? Parallel name, rookie, whatever. Card, I always put card in my listing title. I think people forget that or they eliminate it because they run out of characters. And I think just having a card in there, card typed in there matters. I
That
do
would have
not
been
put
my
them.
response to her to this. Then you should probably work on getting us more than 80 characters.
And more than 60,000 listings too. Yes.
Yeah.
That's so it's kind of neat. And I do have like a personal email to her. I did email her back on a couple other things and she replied to me. So, and you can see, don't everybody spam her, but her email address is down there. So I can connect, with her directly if should I need something as well. So it's just it was a great experience. If you have the option to, how do I get out of this?
So my take on that is I do believe all those fields are important, but I don't think they're all as important in the title. I think a lot of those things you want to make sure they're in the item detail fields.
Yeah, and she was telling me that the listing title is by far the most important thing.
It is, but my research has suggested that the title is one search engine, and then the item details are like the validation for what's in the title. And if it's not there, a lot of searches will not include them.
So are you referring to the description or the item specifics?
Item specifics.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that has to be there too.
Yeah.
She didn't really talk about completing that as much as I thought it would come up. It was really about the listing title. There's not much motivation for her to give me bad information. They're just trying to help you get more sales because then they make more money.
Yeah.
So, I listened pretty closely and tried to pick out the pieces that I thought, were going to have the most value. And then, kind of go from there and build on that for the second one. I haven't had a chance to look at those reports. I got this afternoon and I was out and went out to dinner and stuff like that tonight. So I'll go through those reports a little bit more tomorrow when I actually have time to do it. But it was a good experience. It's free. They call you. You don't have to call them. They just call and say, hey, you got 45 minutes. We'll do our live, one-on-one. I'm like, sure. Sounds good. And, she asked me a few times, do you have any questions for me? I brought up the eBay Live thing and frustration with that and different things. And she didn't, just push me away. She tried to get me some information or tell me where I could go or, I'm not sure what that is, but I'll send a link or I'll put it in the email when I send you the summation of our experience in an email, and you can, reply back if you have questions. I can get answers for you. So it was kind of neat because I've never really had much of a personal connection at eBay. So this was a really good connection. I don't know. It just felt healthy and like we're on the same team. And like, I actually got to talk so many times you contact eBay and they push you off or they just don't want to deal with you or they just give you the wrong information. And, not very encouraging when that's the platform you're making most of your money off of, and doing your business on. But I did not have that experience at all with this. This was very, very well done. She told me there's only like 5 or 6 of them in the entire department.
Oh, really?
That does this. So she's like, even if you don't get me, you'll get one of these people and they really know their stuff. It's a small department and that kind of thing. So I was like, okay, well that's cool too. Now, based on what she does, doing these one-on-ones and performance reviews and performance tips and all that, I don't think I can just go to her about anything like, oh, hey, this guy filed a claim. Can you take care of this kind of thing? That's not her job, but at least if I have questions on like performance or, how do I do different listings, we talked a lot about newsletters and how important those are. I have groups set up, customer groups set up. She said that was really important and a lot of people miss it. Sending out your coupons or notifications. I have a welcome newsletter. So when I have a new follower, it immediately sends them a welcome newsletter and invites them to check out listings. I have my recent new listings letter that goes out every week. So we just kind of talked about like the main purpose of the conversation was to talk about the extras that a lot of people miss.
Okay.
The other thing was she went to my storefront and, you have like, do this to accomplish step 1 in your store. Do this to accomplish step 2. I have all mine done. And she's like, I very rarely see anybody have them all done. I'm like, that's weird because it wasn't that hard. We went through our connections and my like 2 other media platforms, and my connection to my YouTube channel broke on there, so I have to go reconnect that. But she said, yeah, I can see your Facebook page here, I can see your Instagram here. And she's like, yeah, that's starting to become more important to make sure like you have your other connections on here. It just adds to the legitimacy of what you're doing and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if you'd ever gone through one of those, but that was the first one I had done, and it was a very positive experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you talked about that one report that you can't get through their regular reports. So what was in there that was of use to you that you couldn't get through the other reports?
Yeah, and I'm not even exactly sure yet because, like I said, I got this late and I didn't have really a chance to go through it yet. But it's the one that's called list. Was it the active listings with stagnation details or the listing quality report? I think it's the stagnation details one. So maybe it doesn't really have much in there that I can do anything with. I'm not sure. It's a spreadsheet. She was kind of pumping it up like, I can get you this report that you can't see. So, I was kind of going off of her enthusiasm.
Because I just do the listings quality report from time to time.
Yep. And she sent me that too, and I've used that before. This is another one outside of that.
Okay.
Trying to see what the other one is. Yeah, so I got my my seller clinic overview. So it's sort of like results and then just some numbers and things and different. She gave me like an account health review, right? So it has like all my health stuff in there, things I can work on, things, numbers that could be better. How many items are under promotion? How much advertising have I done? How many returns in the last 10 days? Yeah, so I'm not sure if that's the one we can get ourselves. So she did give me some next steps and recommendations on here too. Listing optimization. I guess I could share this again. But I shut down StreamYard on my computer because I'm smart. I'll share this one because this one you can see. I don't really want to share the ones where it's like all my specific details necessarily, but
yeah,
I can put this one up there. Come on. There we go. Here we go. All right. So you can see where it says next steps and recommendations there. So focus area listing optimization, ensure photos are available on all items. Add at least 12 for good measures, which I don't think we're going to do with cards. It's kind of a generic statement. 12 are not required, it says. Update any titles to make sure the first 4 keywords are the item and any remaining descriptions or item specifics after. Add item specifics to items to ensure item is detailed. Update your stagnated listings. Use different discounts to attract buyers. Buyer groups. Add buyer groups to target specific buyers. See, I did that a long time ago and have even split that out a few more times since, based on different things. And it really sounds like not many people do that. So if you're not doing that, she strongly suggested to do it, and I got rave reviews for being someone who does it. And then using the store newsletter, which is on the bottom. So really none of these kind of apply to me because I'm already doing them, but it was still good, like I said, to see some reinforcement in the things that I am doing, are being done correctly.
Nice. Well, it's just nice to get a little bit of a personal touch from, a big corporate entity like that too.
Yeah, no, I'm not even sure how I stumbled upon this. If they just contacted me and said, if you want to do seller one-on-one, set, because basically I got like an invite to go onto a calendar and put something on a calendar, right? So that's what I did, and I'm like, all right, I'll just do noon on this day. And to be honest with you, I kind of forgot about it. And then I get a phone call from eBay, and I'm like, well, this isn't good. eBay is calling me. What did I do?
It's been hacked.
Yeah. So, and I answered, and she's like, oh, I'm here to do your one-on-one, that you schedule. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Because you got to schedule like a couple weeks out. It's not like something you just call in and you do that day. But yeah, like I said, very professional, very helpful, seemed to know her stuff. I tossed a few questions at her, and anything she couldn't get me, she said, well, I'll work on it and send something to you. So I like that. I'm going to go ahead and schedule the second one. I'll probably schedule it out another week or two, whatever is the time frame that they would have available for me. Throw something on the calendar and just keep going with them. And as much as we think we know about eBay and how eBay works and what we should do and not do, like, it's just nice to talk to somebody there who's like, this is literally my job, is to tell you how to sell shit on my platform. So like I said, even if it's just reaffirmation to say like, yeah, you're doing it right, that still has value. And I'm assuming a lot of newer sellers or, new to eBay people, that kind of thing, it would really have a lot of value for them.
Yeah. That's where I really see a lot of value is if, let's say, someone's in their first year or something, and they're still trying to figure some things out. That would be really valuable at that point in your selling career.
And to be fair, this was like one-on-one number one, so it's supposed to be more like the beginner version of this, and then the next one's supposed to add some more pieces to it. And so yeah, I'm gonna go through it. Like I said, it's free, why not? I got a half hour here or there to have this conversation. Maybe she'll toss them at me I didn't really think about, that I should be doing.
Yeah, it's good. Anytime you can get something out of an interaction, that's good.
And to talk to somebody at eBay, like, who knows what a trading card is, and like she got it, like she understood what we were trying to do. And I said, I don't sell expensive cards. She's like, I know, I can see what you do here. She's like, yeah, you sell like the lower end stuff and then some of the base stuff and that. And she's like, okay, well that's a viable selling strategy. Let me give you some things that will help you get the sales that you need to get there.
All right. Well, cool. What else you got? That's it.
I think so. What was our other topic? We had one other topic, didn't we?
We talked about the National a little bit.
Yeah, the National.
It's not just a far away thing anymore. Like, it's getting real. We talked a little bit about, are you planning for the National? And if you are you planning as a tourist, or are you thinking like an operator and really putting together a plan for how you're going to operate at the show?
Yeah, I mean, basically what I do, I've been to a lot of these now, so I kind of, I kind of have my own thing that I do. It works pretty well for me. You kind of took some more pieces of mine and applied it last year than you did the first year, because the first one you go to, it's just like a lot. You don't really know what to expect. But I basically just have a list of what I want to get into in the national. Like what cards do I need to buy? What do I want to learn more about? That kind of thing. Who do I want to talk to? Like I have to give Whatnot my lecture this year, so that's all going to be on my list. And that's what I do. And I definitely go there as more of an operator, a business owner, trying to improve, make some connections. I have a couple of big cards I want to sell, and the value, the price on them right now is the right price.
Mm-hmm.
So I have something different to add to my list this year than I've had in previous years. I need to go around to some of the bigger buyers and sell a few cards.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I don't really have anything I got to cover with Car Dealer Pro, at least not at this time. So I don't really plan to spend a lot of time over there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously there's certain cards that I want to pick up. So, I'll have my list for that. And yeah, that's how I prep. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I think you want to plan out your budget. You want to kind of put together, at least in the back of your mind, a buy list, what you're looking to pick up. Thinking about, are you going to participate in all the redemption packs and the buys for that? And if so, what type of product are you thinking you might want to look for in that? Is there any networking you want to do while you're there? Is there any content you want to do while you're there? And what are you going to do? What are you going to do about your store? Are you going to go on vacation mode while you're gone? If you're away, and can't keep listing, if you're going to go on vacation mode, what's your plan when you get back? Are you going to have to scramble? Do you need to make adjustments? Those are things you should be talking about right now, because the national is now becoming a planning problem. You're in that range now where you want to start making that plan and firming things up. You should have kind of your lodging figured out by now. May not have to have bought a ticket yet. Although the the Ultimate VIPs sold out already. So if you're looking to get a VIP, you want to keep an eye on that and see how close it is to selling out. Or maybe you're just looking for the early entry. I think that's usually pretty easy to get right up to the show. But yeah, you want to start looking at those things, because so we're in April, May, June, July. We're 3 months away. That's going to go by in a flash.
Yeah, got the tickets. We got the Airbnb. We're ready to go on our side, and it's just a matter of it getting here.
Yeah.
I might do a live selling show from the national. That's something I'm kicking around in my head, just for fun. Now, like 9,000 people are going to do that, of course, at least. But
yeah.
I don't know. Might try it, see how it goes. I'll have a lot of pickups and stuff that maybe I could flip easy and quick, and while things are under that attention.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe I'll have eBay Live set up by then, and that would, make me want to do that more. So
there you go.
But yeah, definitely a list of the stuff I want to pick up, what I need more inventory of, kind of what dollar levels I want to be at.
Yep.
Once they start announcing like who's got what special products and things like that, that will add some things to the list.
Yep.
I want to spend a decent amount of time at the Bo Jackson place again, because I had some good experiences there, and I'd like to pick up some more of that product, and maybe even play a demo of the game just to try to learn how it actually plays.
Listen to you.
Yeah. But a lot of this just comes down to like time and where you're going to be and that kind of thing. We got to make sure we get to Portillo's. We got to make sure we get to Giordano's.
Yeah.
Like there's some priorities outside the card show too, on the vacation side of things. But yeah, I'll bring my 2 empty 5-row boxes. I'll do my best to fill them up with, dime, quarter, nickel, dollar, $5 type stuff. But yeah, a big mission last year was to get as much non-sport stuff as I could, and I got a bunch. That's probably going to be my main mission again this year. I might want to pick up some TCG stuff too if I find some good deals on it. Start building a TCG store.
Okay, so you're getting more involved in that, huh?
And it got to eventually.
Well, you don't have to.
It's I want to continue growth. So one of the things with this, and this gets talked about sometimes on the Discord too. There's a plateau on the eBay side, like where you don't just like I add new listings and now I get more sales. Like there's a plateau portion to it. Where you can break through that and continue your growth is to expand into other cards, listings, that kind of thing. Non-sport's done very well for me, and when I get to a point where that store is full, then yeah, TCG would be the next one to get going.
Yeah. So, if you're looking to play a game down there, we can set some over-unders on some events down at the National.
Yeah, heck yeah, I do.
See who can win that. We can set an over-under on how many Pelican Vault cases you see throughout the trip. I'll bet you it's over under 500.
I was gonna say closer to like 750.
750.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot. It's kind of hard to count something like that too, because you might see one more than once.
What about an over under on how many times you hear "count me on that" before noon on Friday?
Oh gosh. Yeah. A lot. Maybe 50 times.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one is like sick card, bro. That card, one too. That one's got to play. Giveys, like there's going to be all this like, awesome hobby jargon that drives me nuts. That's going to present itself.
What's the over under on buyers you'll hear telling a dealer, "I'll circle back later and check it out"?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Hell, I've done that one myself. So yeah.
Yeah, I use that one as well. I do truly have intention of stopping back a lot of times.
I actually do stop back sometimes, depending on what it is. It can be worth it. Especially if it's non-sport.
And what's the over-under on how many influencer tripods are causing traffic jams, Jeff?
Everyone's gonna, just like the last few years, everyone's gonna be there with a camera and a mic, and yeah, it's just par for the course at this point at big events.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is it's time to start planning. If you haven't yet, you should probably get started because it's going to be on you before you know it.
I would say that is accurate. Yeah.
Well, we've gone over the 2-hour mark, Adam. I see we got a couple chats here we can finish up with.
Sure.
Susie says all those things on your titles are a bit tough when you do bulk uploads through CDP or other tools. Yes and no. I mean, you have quite a bit of sway on your templates for your titles.
One of the things I like about that is then you stay consistent with your titles, right? Yeah. So you set up a good template, and then you have, whatever order you want to put it in, but you got player name, you got year, you got set, you got manufacturer, so you shouldn't miss anything,
right?
That you want to include. What I find myself doing, and what kind of Charlie was alluding to, is there's a lot of times where that's not going to go in there. It's too much stuff, and then I have to go figure out what I want to remove.
Yes.
to get my listing still to work. I see that a lot with non-sport, especially because you have like cards from the scene of a movie, and it's gonna be like, Roger
Dialogue
Rabbit
in the
talks
movie.
to John over the blah 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 card. And it's like, well, that's like 70 characters right there. Like, can I remove all the thes? Can I remove all the us? Can I remove all the, I try to take out any kind of unimportant words, and so yeah, the listing titles is always a little bit of a game. Just how it is. They got to limit it to whatever characters they can get. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's like, well, it's hard to, like, if I want to do a specific one for one single card, I don't want to create a template for that. And then in that case, you just want to have as solid a template as you can for listing on Card Dealer Pro. And then if you have a card that doesn't really fit with that template, just go in and edit that one individually.
Mm-hmm. She also gives you another reminder, Adam. Right back to her, or better, ring her for extra listings. You should be at 100,000 listings.
If she'll give me 100,000 listings, hell yeah. I don't want to up my plan. It's just, it doesn't have enough value to me. I'd rather just, like, 60,000 listings is fine. I'll sell a chunk of it. I list some more stuff. It's fine. But yeah, if I could move up to 100K, yeah, that'd be great. So I will definitely shoot her a message. Why not? It can't hurt me.
Designated Heckler says, Adam, would you post the email from eBay RE listing titles on the Discord without her contact info, of course? The group Discord is the greatest. Right.
Nice. Discord link coming down below there. Yeah. I can do that. Yeah, I can chop it up so it looks like a better better image than what I was sharing here, which is just my random email.
Yeah.
I can put it together tomorrow and throw it in the Discord if you guys want to take a look at it.
Sounds good.
These are listing tips not from like some dude who's been on eBay forever. These are listing tips from like a person who works at eBay whose sole job is to help you improve your sales. So to me, that has some validity to it.
Yep. Dan wants to know how Chicago was, Adam.
Yeah, so Chicago was amazing. A lot of times when you go on these trips, especially when you have multiple people going with you, it's like, well, this didn't work out, that didn't work out. This was the exact opposite. Things that we didn't know we were going to run into, we ran into that were just worked out perfect. So I had a fantastic time. The original motivation for doing this was my daughter had a field trip at the Chicago Technology and Museum, whatever that's called. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hadn't been there in a few years. Last time I was there, I actually rented the entire museum out, which is crazy, with a team of people, and we threw a big party there. And so it was kind of neat to go through and actually look at the museum, and saw a lot of cool things. The cherry blossoms were in bloom, and just this past week, and my daughter's big into Japanese culture, so we went through all the Osaka gardens, and we did some shopping down on Michigan Ave. We found a really great discount like clothier, and Luna loved a lot of the clothes in there, so that bought a bunch of stuff there. Got an authentic Chicago dog. We went and saw the Bean, and got some pictures there. Some of the other art installations. We ended up eventually going past the Chicago Institute of Art Institute, so the Chicago Art College. So that was kind of neat because it was something I wanted to show. Luna's big into art, so I wanted to kind of show her like one of the top schools in the in the nation for that type of study. We went past Loyola and Northwestern University, where my dad graduated from, who recently passed. So that was kind of a fun thing to see. I'd never been to Northwestern University. We went to the Home Alone house. We went to the church that was in Home Alone. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was great. Hotel was good. All the experience, everybody that was there. Weather was perfect. 73 degrees, sunny, slight breeze. Like, how do you top that? Everybody was out on the streets because it's kind of like the first like super nice day in Chicago. People were dressed to the nines. It was one of the things that Luna pointed out, like, hey, nobody's wearing pajamas out on the street. I'm like, yeah, this isn't Green Bay, people put on their nice shoes and they go out and they're in the town, in the city. Yeah, Chicago theater. We got to stop by there. It was like everything just kind of like fell into place as we were doing things. And she took her first cab ride. I showed her how to order an Uber. She thought that was pretty cool while tracking the little car coming to get you. And just like all these things we kind of, as adults, we sort of take it for granted.
Mhm.
An 11-year-old who hasn't experienced it yet, and you go to a big city the first time, it was pretty sweet. She had a great time.
Good.
We got in the pool, we got in the hot tubs. We didn't waste a minute of our time, and everything was great. Some things were like way more expensive than I thought they would be. Food, especially.
Yeah.
And then some things were way cheaper. So it just kind of evened out in the end. It was $88 a night to park.
Wow.
Yeah. But I got a heck of a deal on the room. So like, I don't know, things just sort of worked its way around. Now food in Chicago is very expensive. Any big city, food is going to be expensive. But one thing I will always say about Chicago is the food there never disappoints. There's always good things to eat in Chicago. And it didn't fail. We went to some great restaurants. We had some good restaurants in our hotel. Luna found a bunch, on Michigan Ave, Miracle Mile, whatever you want to call that, downtown Chicago shopping. She found plenty of little Japanese treat places that she could go in and get matcha donuts and this fruit tower thing dipped in crystal sugar. And like, I don't know, she went nuts and had a great time getting all these little things she wanted to experience. I went to a Graham Cracker Comics. I forgot that was down there, but that's a world famous comic shop. So that was kind of fun. And it's like we just kind of like stumbled upon these things as we went. We're like, oh hey, that's there. Let's go to that. And it just really all worked out. So it was nice to get away. It was nice to do something with the family. And I didn't touch cards for 3 days. It was great.
Yeah.
Plenty of work to do when I got back, obviously, but that was the other nice thing. We came back on a Saturday night, which normally if you're gone for the weekend, you're gone for the whole weekend. It's kind of cool. I was able to like get orders packed on Sunday and, kind of catch back up right away. Yeah, if you've never been, and you like the big city experience or want the big city experience, Chicago's a great place to go.
It is.
So I'll be spending a lot of time in Chicago I went past, Soldier Field too this weekend. So, I showed Luna, hey, that's where I'm going to go see the soccer game in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I had this trip, and then I'm going back down for the Team USA game. And then, a few weeks after that or a month after that, back down for the national. So definitely have my fill of Chicago. About the only thing that didn't go great was our drive down there was super foggy and we were driving at night. So yeah, it was, some of the visibility was tough. When you start getting in the bigger cities and it's harder to see and you don't really know where you're going, that can give you some cause for caution. But we got there plenty of time, checked in, everything was good to go.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you.
Susie says her plan if she comes on a national is just to follow us both around.
Do it. We'll have plenty of things for you to do. We can show you some ropes and how to work the national. Charlie's becoming a pretty good vet now and kind of knows what he needs to do. So yeah, we would love to have some people join us.
You'd have to make choices though, because we don't always stick together once we get there.
We will not stick together. Charlie's like, ooh, the walking tacos and the beer, and I'm like, ooh, 5-row boxes. Yeah, I'm pretty much all business at the national.
Yeah, I like to get a beer in at about 11 a.m. That gets me ready for the afternoon.
Yep. So different strokes for different folks. But yeah, seriously, if you're going to come, let us know because that would be great. We'd love to hook up and have some chat.
Absolutely.
Maybe rip some stuff together, rip some boxes. That would be fun.
There you go. Dan says removing important words and titles. Yeah, my first thing I eliminate is panini for my listings.
I do that too. Yeah, panini. Well, that's one good thing. Most of our new listings going forward, at least for new products, is going to is going to be tops. Much less letters in tops than there is in Panini. So it'll save us a few characters that we could probably use to squeeze something better into that listing.
Valuable.
Right.
Yep. Susie says, I knew I would like my plan. All right, folks. I think that's a wrap. WrestleMania delivered. Paige is back. Brock is out. Obafemi's running the show now, and wrestling cards are starting to get real attention. Just don't go all in yet, I think is our message. Adam's leveling up with eBay seller one-on-ones. The National is coming fast, so decide now. Are you showing up as a tourist or an operator? Plan it out now. We'll see y'all next time on the Dollar Box Live.
Remember, you can't sell what you don't list.